Right, we're joined with Jim Ashby from the Sheppey Fire Station. Welcome back to the show, Jim.
Hi Dan, thanks for having me back this evening. Thank you.
Now, firework night is rapidly approaching. So what firework safety advice do you have for us?
Yeah, last year I came up and gave some advice on fireworks, and so I'm back here this evening just to give a few more tips and just to remind everybody on the firework code and how to stay safe over the firework period. So if you're out, if you're going to buy some fireworks over the next couple of days, and a few things to look out for. If you're buying fireworks to use in the home area, then check that the fireworks you choose are suitable for your garden and that they conform to a British standard. The standard for fireworks is BS 7114. And you'll find that on every packet of fireworks that you buy from a reputable dealer. And fireworks should be sold between the time period of about October the 15th till November the 10th. That's when reputable dealers are allowed to sell fireworks over the counter. So look for the British standard whenever you're looking to buy some fireworks, and also make sure that you get them from a reputable dealer as well. Plenty of places in town will be able to sell you fireworks. If you come across someone selling fireworks at a boot fair or something like that, then best to stay clear really. So keep to the local stockists up and down the high street. There's plenty there, and you'll know that you'll get a good deal, and what you're buying is safe as well. So only set fireworks off in your garden if you've got enough space. And set them off safely, and I'll give a few tips in a sec on how to do that, and make sure that people are obviously standing far back enough from the area that you're going to be letting fireworks off in. Think of your neighbours perhaps as well. Let your neighbours know if you're planning a fireworks party. They may have pets which may want to be kept indoors, and in rural areas around the island it's good to include include larger animals, horses and things like that might want to be kept in stables nearby. Plenty of horses and stables within the area, so a little consideration with the neighbours, and in addition be kind to let elderly neighbours and families with the young children know that you're going to have a firework party as well. There may be some loud bangs etc that maybe the elderly and youngsters aren't too keen on, but remember, fireworks can be fun. But a little bit of consideration for others is always good in hand, and of course why not invite your neighbours round and get involved as well. So if you're going to have a party, then just think of your neighbours. If they're not too keen in getting involved, then just a little knock on the door, just a polite word, always doesn't go amiss. So fireworks safety in general, well, quite a few bits and pieces that we can go through, and I'll just brush over them in general. You shouldn't tamper with fireworks. They should be left as they are in the box. Never try to play with the firework itself and try and make it into something that it isn't. So don't tamper with them. Use them as they were instructed within the box, and only have one person responsible for dealing with the fireworks, and have everybody else further away. So ensure that you've got one person that's going to take charge of your display, and that they're fully aware of how the fireworks are meant to be operated, using the instructions that are clearly printed on the box. Read the instructions in advance as well in the daylight, and be clear about what you're doing and how you're going to go about it. So a little bit of pre-planning doesn't go amiss. So read the instructions clearly during the day when there's plenty of light, rather than trying to struggle during the nighttime hours, when the light is a problem, and of course you quite often see people holding their cigarette lighters near a firework trying to read the instructions, which isn't a good idea. So a little bit of pre-planning doesn't go amiss. The health and safety bit, well, it's good to wear protective gloves, eye protection as well, such as goggles or glasses. You want to enjoy the evening and not come a cropper when putting your show together. So a little bit of health and safety doesn't go amiss. I know we're all full of health and safety nowadays, but it doesn't go amiss. So maybe a protective hat, gloves are a definite, and eye protection as well doesn't go amiss. Children, back on children again, ensure that children know the potential dangers of what you're doing. and keep them supervised and away from the lighting area. It's a good opportunity to introduce children to the hazards of fireworks and fire, so a little bit of education at the same time doesn't go amiss. So just introduce the children to the potential dangers during the evening, and make sure that they're supervised at all times. A few more. Well, how about lighting fireworks at arm's length? That's always a biggie. And use the taper within the firework, and light one at a time. You've got our supervisor, our one person that's in charge of the fireworks, and if that's you, well, make sure that you're lighting one at a time. If you're starting to light 2 or 3 in one hit, you're going to be struggling to get away from the fireworks within time. I know we all like to try and put on a display that looks professional and is going to impress the neighbours, but professional fireworks teams, they've got timers and fuses and things like that, and trying to put a display on in your back garden is just keep it to the minimal amount at one go. So one at a time is ideal, and always light the firework at arm's length. Of course, if the firework doesn't go off, well, don't go back to it. Don't chance your arm. It's simply not worth risking going back to the firework that hasn't gone off. And have a bucket of water standing by, so that any fireworks that haven't gone off during the evening, by the end of the evening, put them in place them inside the bucket, leave them overnight to soak, and that's probably the best way to dispose of a firework that hasn't activated. Fireworks themselves, well, they come in a box, and maybe you want to keep them in a metal box of some safe variety during the evening, and always make sure that you keep the box at hand, because the majority of fireworks will have instructions on them themselves, but the box will contain the majority of the information on how to have a safe display. So keep the box at hand. That will always ensure that you have a good display and a safe display. Loose clothing's another one that crops to mind. Scarves, heavy open jackets, things like that. When you're working around the garden area and you're working with fire and fireworks, then make sure you haven't got any loose clothing, which could become a hazard. So just something to bear in mind. And if you're going to have a bonfire, which we'll touch on slightly in a minute, don't put fireworks within the bonfire itself. Speaks for itself, really. Just something to bear in mind again. Putting fireworks into a bonfire is asking for trouble, and the consequences obviously quite evident. You're going to have no control on what the fireworks are doing, so that's a no-no. And back to children, don't let the children handle or light the fireworks. Again, it goes back to this one person being responsible, and make sure that they enjoy the evening and the display that you're putting together, but don't get them involved in any of the usage of the fireworks. Keep them at a good distance, well supervised, and ensure that they enjoy the show. But safety is the big one when we come to fireworks, and I've got a few stats just to give at the end of the interview, just to bring it home. So there's a few tips on fireworks themselves, and I'll just run through the firework code later on, just to summarise what I've gone through, because there was a fair bit of information there. So I'll give the firework code out as it stands on paper, and of course people can see that information online as well.
We are joined with Jim Ashby from the Sheppey Fire Station here at the Monday Night Community Show this evening.